History remembers Napoleon as a genius, a conqueror, and eventually an emperor. But hidden in his rise to power is a dark chapter, one where he chose ambition over loyalty and abandoned thousands of men in the burning sands of Egypt. Napoleon Bonaparte, already a rising star of the French Revolution, sailed to Egypt with dreams of empire. He wanted to strike at Britain's trade routes to India and carve out a legacy as more than just a general, as a conqueror who would rival Alexander the Great. At first, victory seemed inevitable. He crushed the Mamluks at the Battle of the Pyramids, marching triumphantly into Cairo. But fate turned against him almost immediately. Admiral Horatio Nelson destroyed the French fleet at the Battle of the Nile, stranding Napoleon and his army thousands of miles from home. Cut off, isolated, alone in the desert. Still, Napoleon pressed forward. He led his men into Syria, dreaming of expanding eastward. But what awaited them was not glory. It was plague, famine, and defeat at the fortified walls of Acre. His soldiers began to suffer and morale crumbled. Then came the news from France. The government was collapsing, the Directory was weak, and enemies were closing in on the Republic. Napoleon saw his chance, not as a soldier this time, but as a savior, perhaps even a ruler. And so, in August 1799, Napoleon did the unthinkable. Under the cover of night, he boarded a ship and sailed back to France, leaving behind tens of thousands of men. He entrusted command to General Kleber, but in truth, he abandoned them. For Napoleon, the gamble paid off. Within months, he staged the coup of 18 Brumaire, seizing power and beginning his rise to Emperor of France. But for the men he left behind in Egypt, they endured years of hunger, disease, and battle before finally surrendering in 1801. Napoleon's Egyptian campaign was a failure on the battlefield, but a victory for his ambition. He sacrificed an army to seize a crown. The sands of Egypt buried thousands of his soldiers, but they also buried his failures. Back in France, Napoleon returned not as a defeated general, but as a rising ruler. Sometimes ambition demands sacrifice, and for Napoleon, that sacrifice was his army.